Neteru, sisters and brothers, welcome to the house of divinity. I am Proof B, or Professor Bates for long. Welcome. Or greetings. That's what I'll do. Because I always say welcome, 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 and greetings. Or did I say that? Well, anyway, I'm starting my bedroom chat a little late this daylight hours. It's 5:20, I'm late. Well, that's because I just was inspired. I was inspired to, let me turn down the music. I'm back. So, I was up early, but I was inspired, as I was saying, to post some Frankie Lyman, which probably none of you know unless you're my age or older. Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers wrote a song back in the year I was born. I was born 1936. In English, that's 1956. 1956! Boy! So he wrote the song, Why Do Fools... No. The best part that I like. Well, doom-up, 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 doom-up. At the beginning of the song. So that's how they sang back in the old 50s days. They did the doo-wop. And then I posted a rare video of Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 when they was little youngins singing a Temptation song. And on top of that, I posted a whole thing of Michael Jackson from 1960-something to 1979. So, I don't know why, but I just recapped what I posted already. But I wanted to make this video to talk about the tree of life. The tree of life. See, this is the house of divinity, and you cannot be divine unless you're talking about life. Your God can't be dead. You can't be waiting around for death. You don't even know what death is. You say we live forever, but then you're waiting around for a death, whatever the heaven that is. So I talk about life. The tree of life. I created a system I call the art of life. The art of thou life. Then we talk about the key of life, which is the Ankh. And then we talk about, well, this is actually Matreon's cube, but I'm going to replace it with the flower of life. So everything is about living and about life. We don't have a dead God on a cross. Anyway, I want to talk about the tree of life. Now, in ancient Kemet, is called par Neter or Neteru. Neter is singular, and Neteru is a bunch of them. And it's not, the real translation is not gods. Again, you don't have any understanding of what that word really means and where it comes from. And plus, it's just a total unrepresentation of what Neteru or Neta really means. The word nature that we use in English comes from Neter. In English, we use a few words, at least, maybe not a lot, but a few of the words come directly from ancient Kemetic, or ancient Egypt, as you might call it. So, this is the tree of life on my wall here, and I didn't set up the lighting too well, but this is the tree of life. Little tiny tree of life. Now, what this actually is, see now this is the Kemetic tree of life. There is also, and the one that you may be familiar with, sorry ladies, every once in a while, I have to lick my lips. You never know when anyway, the tree of life. Now, the Hebrews or Jews have their own version of the tree of life, which I studied for a long time before I found the Kemetic tree of life. And I'm like, they have these spheres called Sephora, and each one of those have a different meaning, beauty, and these words, and you be like, oh, what does this mean by beauty in this sphere, and what does this mean? You're like, what the heaven does that mean? You got to really get like all deep into Kabbalah and no. Now, what this is supposed to be, this tree, is a schematic or a map of how you, or all of ours, but I like to point out that this is about you, not about me. Well, it is about me because it's about all of us. But you are you in you by yourself, and ain't nobody can do this for you. So, what this is a schematic or map of how your soul comes down from that top gray square is, or I have it right here. That top zero in the Medu Neta Bara Unefa Amen, which I consider my new teacher, kind of new. That zero and that symbol on the card represents undifferentiated matter. So we got two things going on here. The undifferentiated means a type of energy. It's energy, but it's undifferentiated means that it's not put into, I don't know, a car or a house, or, it's not molded into anything, your body or whatever. And then matter tells you that it's not only this undifferentiated stuff, but the matter that will make up the differentiated stuff, the actual stuff that you think of, is in there too. They're both together at the same time. But they have to come down from the highest point down to you. Now, see, on this tree of life, I've added two things at the bottom here. Right there. I added a picture of myself. So, myself, the picture, represents me before I start training in the tree of life. Once you start training, you start out as Geb, number 10 on the tree of life. Geb represents the physical world, but it represents the physical world, you, working at uplifting yourself, back up to the highest, back up to being an Usar. An Usar, we'll get to that. The next level after you get your, now on that level, well, I'm not going to go into what we teach on each level. I just wanted to do this video because it's already 13 minutes. I want to do this video just to go over what each one of them are. So the first one is basically the physical world, you uplifting your physical self. The next level would be Uset. Uset is where we start in meditation. I said I wasn't going to talk about what we actually do. But Uset, down here in the lower abdomen, is about remembering Usar. Remember, well, that's the whole story of how Uset went and found Usar, the 14 parts of Usar, and put them back together, but she didn't have the phallus and the blah, 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 and then she got pregnant, blah, 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 blah. That's that whole story, but we make it real. Uset is your not your lower self, your, it's the chakra, as they call it in yoga, that's above your sexual chakra. And that's where we meditate and remember Usar. So that word, remember, has two meanings. You're actually remembering Usar, yourself, the Usar within yourself. You're putting it back together because it's not together. Unless you've been studying this here, not yoga, not all that other garbage, but unless you've been studying this here and understand what Neteru are, etc., you are not together. So, that's two parts of you, Geb and Uset. Uset is your emotional, your feminine, and all that. You get that together first. And then you start to put Usar, or you start to remember Usar. Next is I'm sorry, from Uset we go to Het Heru. Het means house. Heru, house of Heru. In this sense, it again has two meanings. It means actually the sexual energy in your sexual organs, whether they are testosterone or uh, what's in the what y'all women's got, ovarian fluids, right? Whichever one it is, the stuff that makes you horny. Now in Het Haru, we learn to take that sexual energy and with the words again, transform it or transfer it into creativity, whatever art. We'll get into that. Now that deals with the right. See, I'm backwards here on the screen. The right side of the brain, which deals with the left hand. Right side brain, left hand, feminine creativity. Now we'll go, once we got that straight, we go to Sebek. So from Geb to Oset to Het Haru to Sebek. Sebek is, yep, you guessed it, the left brain. Now the left brain controls the right side. This side and this side of the brain is, whereas this side is visual, and that's the creativity we're going to deal with. This side is audio and deals with putting things in different parts. So we got to deal with that side of the brain. I'm trying to get through this. So we go from right side to left side, and they both, everyone meets at Haru. Haru is the will. Notice I didn't point to my brain. Haru is the will, which is both in your mind, which is all over your body, not just in your brain. Your will, but is centered in the heart. So Haru is the heart and the will, and it is the heart that controls all the other faculties of our souls. I haven't even started yet. So once you understand Heru, we move on into, oops, it's backwards. We move on into Heru Kahuti. Ooh, dangerous. Now we're gonna get a little deeper, a little more deeper than the heart-mind connection. That's I didn't mention that. We have to get into that when we talk about Heru, the heart-mind connection, because now science is talking about, all the guys that been meditating for 10 billion years, they were right. The mind and heart is the same, blah, 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 blah. Het Haru. Excuse me while I work this up. Heru Kahuti. Let it suffice to say that because there usually are, especially these days, if there's someone out there, you're trying to do good. Not if you're just sitting around thinking about it. You're trying to do good. But there's someone out there somewhere. You don't even know this person. You never even seen him before in your good life. And they're sitting and they saw you doing good. and they're sitting back planning. Oh, he's doing good. I'm going to think of something, or maybe even take it a little further and do some witchcraft and make sure he don't do that good. Guess what? Without you even knowing it, once you develop the skills internally, Heru Kahuti is the defensive, oh, I'm sorry, offensive. See, when you defense, somebody's trying to hit you, you defending. But offense is when you the one that's doing the god dag nabbit punching and kicking and grabbing and scratching. Haru Kahuti does that for you to that Negro out there. Whatever color they are, he's out there trying to throw a monkey wrench in your plans. Heru Kahuti got your back. Let's move on. From Heru Kahuti, we go to the overall law of Kemet back in those days, which we need to go back to. The 42 laws of Ma'at. 42. Now in your Bible, there's actually 610 laws in Leviticus. But y'all know about 10. Thou shalt not kill. What? If somebody's trying to kill me, I think that my life is just as important, at least, or more important than the Negro trying to kill me. I'm going to try to kill him first. So that law, you understand? So we get to Ma'at, universal laws, reciprocity, all these types of things. You got to study Ma'at. Words are leaving me this morning because I want to get through this because it's already 23 minutes. So we go from Het Haru to Ma'at. Now, if you notice, they're not connected. Everything is connected to Haru. Your heart is the controller of your mind and you. Well, the mind and heart are together. Another time. So we go from there to we go from there to C-Shat. C-Shat is another one that I added. That's the second one. I added me, my picture, to represent me coming into the teachings untrained before I start. And then C-Shat is actually in the first Neteru. C-Shat has her own section because she deals with some deep stuff. C-Shat is actually the one that is said to decode abstract images for your higher self, Usar. Now, in our temple, we also identify C-Shat with the holy herb, which you might call marijuana or cannabis, both marijuana and hemp, which was called Shimshimtu in ancient Kemet or Egypt. So she's in the Neteru book, but she's not on the Neteru or the Kemetic tree of life. I added her, and she would be, actually, she's in this house. She would be the overall training. So once you become a member of the house, we already talking about C-Shat at the very beginning. We're already dealing with the herb because you're probably, if you come here, you're probably, now you don't have to be, it's not necessary, but you're probably already using the holy herb marijuana, smoking or ingesting by edibles. One way or another, you're probably using it or thinking about using it, etc. Or maybe you might want to just learn this stuff without all the gook and all the stuff. Let's just learn. Let's just breathe. Let's just learn this stuff and do it. After I do these basic videos here, we just gonna get into practice. This is how you do this. So that's why I'm not going through the formal thing right now. So let's move on. So C-Shat, you see I added the picture, has two purposes. She decodes abstract images for your higher self, but she also represents the holy herb, which is a whole thing we're going to get into when we talk about C-Shat. From Ma'at, we go to C-Shat, which goes to, where's he at? Sikir. Sikir is actually the spiritual foundation or framework of everything you're doing. You understand? So if you think of yourself as building a house, you have to have a plan, and that plan has to have a structure. Like when you build the house, you have to either, if you're gonna build with wood or you're gonna build with steel, you put the structure together first, and then you put the walls and the electricity and all that stuff in. But it has to have the foundation. It has to have the plan and the foundation first. That is Sikir. He is third of the three highest levels. And why I'm saying that, because you see these are all triangles. So the highest triangle is Sikir, and then Sikir go over to Jehuti. Jehuti. I named my son after that. He is second only to Usar, the highest of yourself. Now, this faculty is the wisdom faculty. So I'm not going to get real heavy into that, but in the first book of the Neteru, it is Jehuti, who deals with the actual oracle, actually dealing with the oracle tells you what you need to do. So you don't just do this oracle, oh, you're going to have good fortune and then you go home. No, if you deal with this oracle, you deal with what it tells you to do. You have to wear certain oils, certain smells, certain colors, da-da-da-da-da. You have to practice certain things if you want certain things. Again, we have to get in that when we get into Jehuti as a subject. Next to last, or last on, well, so that's Jehuti, that's Shakir, and that is your higher self. Usar. Now, what is not, I also wanted to add to the Tree of Life, just so it's, because the Tree of Life is about being visual. So me being visual, actually below me, I would have added what is considered your lower self, which would be Set. Now, Set is in the story with Uset and Usar and Haru and all that. Set is the brother of Usar and is your lower self, not evil. Evil is a different thing. Set is your lower self and is the disagreeable side of self. So again, we'll get into him in a separate video. But Usar is your highest self. Usar is remembered when you put all 10 faculties. Well, I added 11 and 12. When you 12, like the 12 disciples, when you put all of your faculties, strengthen them, balance them, etc., and put them back together, you, or whoever's practicing, becomes an Usar. Your highest, you can't get no high. Smoke a blunt. You can't get no higher. What? And the last thing you study in your higher state of being is the next level of being. That's basically in our house is the study of the afterlife. I don't know because I haven't studied everything, but the things I have seen, which are supposed to be the highest, like Hindu yoga and other people's stuff, they don't have as sophisticated a system of at least thinking about it. If it's not true, you thinking about it and into it, you have more to think about. And what I'm talking about is the so-called afterlife, not death. Afterlife. We live now and in the afterlife. So it's a 12-month program that I'm going to be starting. So once we go through each of the Neteru, once you go through each of the functions of the body, then we're going to study the afterlife. The word do you know that the word heaven comes from the Greek Uranus? Do you know what Uranus is? Uranus passes over me every night. It's the 3 stars that are in Orion's belt. Who is Orion? Orion is Usar. The 3 pyramids that are on the ground, those 3 stars are the 3 things that those pyramids are aligned with. And you think this is just some arbitrary, oh yeah, let's build a pyramid, dude. Oh, they just happen to be under the stars, under those 3 stars. And you think shots got better answers than that? Get the heaven out of here. I'm out. Damn. 35 minutes. Peace. 35 minutes. I got to talk shorter. Talk.